fellow builders, and welcome back to the bench. Mediocre Modeler here again, we're actually revisiting a model that I worked on earlier. If you don't recognize it, this is the Battlestar Galactica Viper display that I made in a previous video, and I got contacted by someone who was really interested in not the whole thing, but maybe just the joystick. And because they didn't have quite the skill that they needed to pull this off, they asked me if I would build it for them. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to come up with a shelf display for the Battlestar Galactica joystick. I already have the pieces printed off. Actually, the pieces were printed off and in the box ready to ship because they were going to do it as the kit themselves. But you know, so let's get to it. Let's dive right in and see what we can get done. I forgot to turn my mic on again, but let me talk you through this. You can see here where it said Fire, Turbo, and IM. Not sure what the IM meant, but that was printed on the 3D model. Now on mine, I use a dry transfer rub decal, so I'm going to have to sand these down, reapply the plasti dip in order for it to look better. The plasti dip typically takes 4 hours to cure, and that's why it had been feeling tacky in the past, but it still, even after the correct drying time, it still feels funny. Here's the stand that I made. The problem, I like where the Battlestar Galactica part, but up at the top where it says launch and ready, some of the letters didn't come out, like the A in launch, and then like the W, the inside is not defined, and then the capital R and the D. So where did that leave us? It leaves us at the point where I'm going to go back into Fusion 360 and do the same thing with the launch when ready that I did with the Battlestar Galactica. It'll be recessed into the body a little bit, and if this were resin, I think the pass-through would work just fine because the letterwords would be a little bit more refined. I might try it again when I get a resin printer. But for right now, I want to go through and do this again so I can put this project to bed. So I'm going to get to it. Oh, and then, you know, the sanding and the replastic dipping of the rest of the joystick. But yeah, we'll marry the two together and it'll be good to go. Easy peasy. So let's get to it. Well, I'm going to get to it. Sand it down, he says. Reapply the plastic dip, he says. It'll look better. Wrong. Wrong, 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 wrong. It did not look better. It wasn't quite orange peel, but it definitely did not look better. So I ended up having to, and this was after I went on ahead and put my black coat on here, and I do like the way the black finish does look, but it was pitted. It was pitted, and I was not happy with that. So I went on ahead and reapplied a little bit more of the glazing putty and then sanded it down smooth. I sanded it with a 180 and then I switched to a 220 till it got smooth. Now this can go back into the garage and I can do another top layer of the flat black and we're good to go. Then we can start putting the buttons in, which the buttons I have sanded. I've got them sanded down. I've already got the red fire button. It's painted. It's good to go. I can go on ahead and place it. I just need to get the other two buttons. They're puttied so the tops are smooth, and I can coat them in a gray coat, pop them in, glue them in. We're good to go. Trigger's also already done. I'm toying with the idea of, with mine, okay, anytime you got a trigger, you see what I did? People want to do that. So I'm going to get a piece of plastic and put behind the button so you cannot depress the trigger. I'm also considering getting some of the foam, the spray foam, to fill it, to help fill all that in. I might not do that. I mean, it worked well with Thor's hammer, but we'll see when we get there. Well, I might not need to do it, but part of me feels like I should. Okay, that's done. Then we got our bases printed, our new base printed, and I was struggled. I was struggling very hard to get it to say launch when ready, and basically what I ended up doing somehow is getting in the design, I got it flipped around backwards somehow, and so when I tried to do the launch when ready the way I did the Battlestar Galactica, it was going to be in reverse or something goofy, so I just decided to go on ahead and take it off, and so it still looked good. Battlestar Galactica Viper, that'll go on there, and so basically the stand is not going to detract away from the joystick, and that is where let's be honest, that's where the magic is. That's what you want the eye to focus on. So this is just the frosting on the cake. But I have 2 of these. So you know what that means. General Kenobi, years ago you served my father in the Clone Wars, and now he begs you to help him in his struggle against the Empire. I regret that I am unable to present my father's request to you in person, but my ship has fallen under attack, and I'm afraid my mission to bring you to Alderaan has failed. I have placed information vital to the survival of the rebellion into the memory systems of this R2 unit. My father will know how to retrieve it. You must see this droid safely delivered to him on Alderaan. This is our most desperate hour. Help me, Obi-Wan Kenobi. You're my only hope. Sorry, I'm sorry. You know as well as I do, as a Star Wars fan, you are contractually obligated to do that at some point in your life. So, and don't even think that I know that you've done it in the mirror by yourself. Don't even try it. So anyway, moving on. So for the base, I had some adhesive backed foam rubber that I wanted to glue to it to A, add some weight, and B, give this a little bit more of a grip for whatever it was sitting on, for one, and for 2, reduce the ability for it to scratch. So, they're strips, lined them up, peeled the backing off. Now the adhesive wasn't, and to ensure that I had a good adhesion from this to the base, I used contact adhesive. So I put the contact adhesive on the pieces, on the back of this, waited 5 minutes, stuck it down, and then put a weight on it to make sure I had a good adhesion. Then 3 days passed, so it's good and stuck on there now. But all we got to do is cut it off. So then we have a nice, clean edge. Yeah, there you go. Got a little bit more weight. Not gonna skid around. I know I have to save everything. This is trash. Alright, well, so I was wrong. So it's fire, turbo, and IM. And I was really concerned because I think there are some shots where this says pulse or impulse, and I only have 1 M. So being that it says turbo, I'm good to go. Because I only have 2 R's, so believe it or not, this is only the second time I believe that I've used rub-on transfers. And it is exactly as it says. It's rub-on. Here's your eye. And then check out. Here's my M. Just that easy. Just that simple. So then we're going to do a turbo. This could be a bit tricky trying to get everything lined up. I did mess up a little bit on mine where it says fire. I think my R is a little bit wonky. I'm trying to judge the spacing, making sure it looks right. B. Only 2 B's. See? Turbo. So, no, turbo. This could be relaxing and terrifying all at the same time. Turbo. Do fire. Put a clear coat on this, and it will be done. And E, man, don't mess it up. Ooh, nope. E. Ha! Yes! So the final step in the process of completing our Battlestar Galactica joystick shelf display was attaching the joystick itself to the base. We accomplished that by just using some contact adhesive, a little bit on the base in the recessed circle, and then so gingerly dipping it down into the bottom of the joystick down into the adhesive, giving it the proper amount of time, and then mounting them together. Well, without further ado, there you have it. Came out pretty good, I'd say. Now, thing about it is, you have the lettering recessed and it says, like I said, Battlestar Galactica Viper, and you could very easily take some colored paint and fill in the lettering to make it a little bit more dynamic. I don't know what colors are their favorite. You know, me, it would be purple. Some people blue, silver, yellow, it doesn't really matter. They can personalize it at this point if they so choose. But, as it stands, I think it came out pretty good. So the only thing I have left to do now is get this safely packed in a box and shipped off to its new home. If you liked what you saw in this video, I'd really appreciate it if you would hit that little subscription bell, like the video, and join us. Go back and see some of the other projects that we've done and see if there's something there you like. Take advantage of the new email address that I just got started a couple of weeks ago, which would be gobuildsomethingmm@gmail.com. We have Instagram, we have the Facebook 3D printing group, and there's also YouTube. So, there's no reason for you not to join us. Until next time, have fun, be safe, go build something.